slopers, a paddle move thing, volumes that are very sketchy, and a ret that's hiding a little bit of a secret around the corner there. Some might call this a blind arete. To some, it looks like a fun little bouldering problem. To me, it looks like Dante's 8th circle of hell. If anything, it'd probably be Dante's 4th circle of hell, which is greed. Because I'd be greedy to think that I'm going to send this problem. The idea is simple enough, I think. I go to the climbing gym, I find a problem that looks very difficult for me, but a problem that maybe I might eventually be able to get if I work on it. And I document my struggles and successes, but almost certainly just struggles to send the problem. And the episode ends in one of two ways. Either A, I send the problem, hooray! Or B, the problem gets taken down before I can send it. And maybe C, I just give up because I hate it. Then also, along the way, I'll get some help from the setters themselves.
I'm Josh from Second Slab, and I set this red boulder.
To talk about the problem and maybe give me some advice if I need it. As for this particular problem, I'm honestly not sure if I will be able to climb it, and I don't think anyone else would expect me to either.
Do you think I'll be able to get it?
Yes.
Okay, some people expect me to climb this problem. I'm gonna try my hardest. So let's get started with session 1. There's me, the hero of the story. There's this red problem, the villain of the story. And then there's the third character, which is my camera, who can be kind of a perv.
Oh!
What, the camera's tracking you, McKenna?
No, don't track me!
Is it tracking you now?
I just bought a new tracking mechanism for my camera, and apparently it's really dumb. It just detects movement. It doesn't register who it's looking at. It can be easy. It's an easily distracted companion, you know? Adorable, helpful, really comes in clutch most of the time, but easily distracted, man. You gotta keep them focused. So camera, I'm looking at you. Literally, I'm looking at you. Be better. Thankfully, the problem does start out with some very good crimps, I guess I will call them, although they feel almost like jugs, about a finger pad's depth, as you can see, which for a starting move is pretty great, actually, because I'm not pumped, so the starting move is just very easy to hang on to, and that's where the generosity of the setter ends abruptly, because the next move is nigh impossible. From these crimps, you're supposed to pull yourself up into 2 slopers. Now, I think the idea is that you want to do a paddle dyno, and it's really hard, especially this is on overhung wall. So I know the video probably doesn't show it well, but it is a slight bit overhung, just overhung enough for these slopers to be really hard to get underneath. And that's how you have to treat a sloper. You have to get underneath it. Slopers are considered the full body hold, which means it's not really about your hand placement necessarily. It's kind of about where the rest of your body is, so that you can turn the sloper into something that's actually useful. And in this problem, that's really hard to do. You're kind of having to do this coordinated move up to a pretty far away, thankfully it's a jug. The thing that's far away is thankfully a jug. But jugs are only useful if you can reach them. That's my quote of the day. And tripods are only useful if they stay upright. You will be missed, tripod. Now, from these slopers to the juggy thing, what you're supposed to do is then shuffle over to these volumes, which thankfully the volumes are actually really good. They're really sticky. It is possible to stand on them entirely without any other hand support. The problem is controlling your momentum to then be able to stand there without any other hand support, because there's no hand holds above you, above this volume right now. This is just, you have to stand on it, or you have to dynamically sort of traverse shift across it, which I think is probably the way that I'm going to try to get this problem. I don't think it's going to be possible for me just to stand there, pause, and then hit the arete. just having no handholds and having to trust your feet that much, especially in a coordinated sort of side shifting motion. Very, very, very scary for me. So I hope I can do it. I think in the next session, that's what I'll probably focus the most energy on, is just getting that move from the big jug to the arete.
That's so cool.
Lots of progress today. I think it feels like progress anyway. I focused, as I said I was going to, on getting the move from the big jug to the arete. I did it over and over and over and over and over and over, but nope, also and over 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 again until I finally almost got it. There are a couple things that I'm really proud of. One of the things I'm proud of is that I was able to grab the hold on the other side of the arete, which I was not anticipating would be that difficult, but it was. You have a lot of momentum that you need to control, and every time I was able to grab that hold on the other side of the arete, almost fell off of it. So what this has told me is that I need to probably focus more on trying to do this move statically rather than dynamically. I need to find a way to statically move across the volume rather than do just a big jump, a big swing and then jump, because I don't know that I'm gonna be able to control that momentum. So that was good. That was good. So it allowed me to focus more on the static portion of this move. The other thing I learned was by way of a ridiculous little contraption that I invented to help get really close-up shots of foot and hand placement. It's a cigar box that I outfitted with a 1/4-inch thread screw thing, and can mount a camera on top of. Kind of clever, but pretty dumb looking. So I mounted this thing on the wall so that I could record my foot placement. What this forced me to do was kind of jump over and around the thing in order to actually perform the move. And when I did that, I actually landed pretty well. So what this taught me is that maybe what I need to do is go up and then come down onto the volume rather than try to come sort of diagonal down to the volume. That was a big eye-opener. Stop opening your eyes. Everything you thought you knew is stupid. Yeah. Session 2 felt great, but then things took a turn. I don't want to say for the worst, they just took a turn. Actually, they took a turn for the good, okay? I'd been trying to do a static move onto the volume and then kind of moving myself slowly over to the arete to get around the arete. I was really happy about this break that I thought I had discovered, and I was really committed to working through that break. And then when I tried what I think is the intended beta, it actually felt better. And there's a small piece of me that's a little disappointed by that. And it turns out the intended beta is actually just as easy, if not easier, and it looks way cooler. So basically, the break that I thought I had discovered is in all ways worse. But I'm happy. I'm happy with my progress on session 3. I've gotten very, very close to being able to land what I feel is probably the most low percentage move. After I get this move a few times consistently, then I'm gonna move on to the start, because the start, it's gonna be hard. See this face? This is the face of a guy who might have done something a little bit cool today. I was right, the start is hard, really hard, which is why I decided to ignore it and instead focus on the traverse swingy part. And I got it. After several attempts and very pink fingers, can you see that? Oh God, you can see that. I finally landed the big swingy move, and it felt great. And I just didn't land that move once. No. I I didn't just land it twice. No way. I didn't even land it 4 times. It was 3 times. I landed it 3 times. And it felt amazing every single time. I feel like I've honed in on where my feet need to be and where my body needs to be so that I can, I think, fairly reliably grab the big hold on either side of the array, which means the next session is going to be buckling down and focusing on the start. Or I can use the excuse that my little fingies hurt. My fingies hurt. I don't know if I can. Oh, it's gonna be hard. Of course I kid. I have to get the start soon. Now I did put a few efforts into it and I think I'm actually getting kind of close. Here's a little sneak peek. Hopefully that's just a sneak peek of the greatness to come at my next session, which will probably be tomorrow. But first, it's obvious in those previous clips that I lack explosive arm strength and explosive leg strength. And that's something that we need to fix, and we need to fix fast. Off to the gym. That montage isn't just a collection of my hours and hours and hours and weeks and weeks of working up to develop my full potential. No, that's pretty much all of the reps that I did. So really, there's nothing standing in my way now. This should be easy. You guys, it's really hard first move. It's so hard, so hard. And what's really frustrating is that I am reaching the hole just fine. And in fact, I'm getting my entire hand over what is a phenomenal jug. It should be no problem to grab this thing and stay there. But I think I'm just like kicking myself out away from the wall, and it's creating just enough momentum and just enough sort of, I don't know, against the wall pressure. It's making it hard. Today was not a great session day, but next time, oh, next time, it's gonna be amazing. I hope. I record these talking head pieces immediately following my session, so I actually don't know what the next session's gonna be. That's probably not entirely fair. It wasn't a full thumbs down fart sound kind of day, but it wasn't great. I worked as hard as I possibly could on the start move. My fingers continue to get raw. I am working myself to death here, if death can be measured by a little bit of skin off your fingers, which it can't, medically speaking, unless you have like a blood disease and you bleed a lot if your blood doesn't clot. I don't know. You know what? I'm not a doctor. You don't come here for doctor stuff. But there is some light. There's some light that I want to really focus on. Toward the end of this session, a fellow climber made a comment that seems like it has a lot of merit. I'm hitting the hold just fine, but I'm also hitting the hold on the narrowest, shallowest part. Simply just aim a little higher. I have the height, I have the reach to be able to do that, I have the jump to get there. I think I just need to focus on getting a little bit higher up on the hold. Fingers crossed. That's what's gonna happen next time. Incremental progress is still progress. I have to remind myself of that, especially on days like today. For context, I took 2 days in a row off from the gym this week. Normally I climb about 6 days a week. Now I don't climb hours and hours every day, maybe just 10 to 20 minutes some days. But I do try to get to the climbing gym every day except one rest day that I take, usually on a Friday. But this last week I took Thursday and Friday off. So I had convinced myself that I will be coming back to the gym today just stronger than ever. And that didn't really happen. But incremental progress is still progress. And what was the incremental progress that I made? I had spoken with one of the setters, the lead setter actually at the gym. I told him how close I was to getting this problem. And he said, I have to watch so that I can give you some help. I can give you some pointers. He had told me that what I should do is focus on being sort of a pendulum around my left foot when I first jump off. And that should allow me to sort of ricochet back into the wall so that I'll be much closer to the wall. I'll be moving toward the wall as I extend my left foot to reach up to the big jug. Those two things together should allow me to maybe jump up to that hold a little better. So it makes sense. I mean, it makes logical sense. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Wish me luck. Cheers. I had to use a lifeline today. I had to ask the setter for help, and I'm really glad I did because I got the starting move.
Oh yeah, let's go! Oh, come on, it's okay.
I'm over the moon and back to earth because I only got it once. I only got the starting move once. That one time I got it felt great. And in fact, I got it so well that it seems absurd I wasn't able to repeat the success. If you watch the video, you can see I was well above the handhold. So overall, a great session. Called in some help, got the help I needed. Next session will be more of the same, I think. Well, hopefully the next session, dare I say, is that the one I said that? I don't know. This has been by far the most difficult climbing challenge I have ever set for myself, to take this impossible problem and make it possible. I started off not being able to even fathom how to do the first move. And after session 1, session 2, session 3 and on, I still wasn't quite sure how to do the very first move. Things weren't looking great. But after how many sessions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sessions. I had all of the pieces. I was able to do each move in isolation. I just needed to stitch it all together. Simple enough, right? And today, as I walked into session 9, the only thing standing in my way from success, from defeating this problem, was another climber. Now, I didn't know this other climber had started climbing on the other side of the arete. I had no idea, so it can't be my fault. I wish the gym would have put up a sign or something warning me to check. Yes, I should have checked. It's 100% my fault. I should have checked, but I didn't. And after I was able to land that first move, which is pretty rare, I felt like the people I was climbing with didn't really want to warn me that someone else was on the wall because they knew how much of an accomplishment it was that I had gotten this first move. That, or like I would have been had I known there was another climber there, I probably would have thought, well, I got the first move, yeah, but I'm not gonna get the next one, so it really doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be able to get the problem, so why even warn the other climber? But much to my surprise, this happened. It's incredible. I'm absolutely just feeling so good right now. And I did speak with the other climber afterwards, immediately afterwards, in fact. You can see me running off to give him a hug. off camera. He was totally fine. He was totally cool. We didn't make contact at all. He did jump down from the climb, probably because he saw in my eyes that there was no way I was gonna jump down. I'm not a confrontational person, but I would have fought to stay on the wall and be the one to finish the problem. So he probably saw some kind of weird ferociousness in my eyes that I just never have. But at the end of the day, no one was hurt, and I was able to succeed in this challenge. I was able to send the blinderette. It took me 9 sessions to do so, and a lot of raw fingers and injuries. Seriously, I got this one on the first move during today's session, and then just wrapped it in cloth for the whole rest of the session. You can see the cloth in the video of me sending it. And I'm stupid because I left it on there until the blood dried, so when I took the cloth off, it just ripped the wound right open again. Yeah, pretty gross. So that's it, right? What's next? I think we all know what's next. There's a rule to climbing.
2 to make it true.
I don't know. I'll probably try it again at some point, but not right now. Right now, I'm just gonna celebrate. And you know what? You can celebrate too by watching one of these videos over here. This video up here is Josh from Suck at Slab overviewing the entire problem. So you can watch his entire thought process and how he anticipates that people will probably try to send the problem. And then this video down here is whatever Google tells you is a cool one that you should watch. You should listen to Google.